You're not gonna believe what happened to me on my 65th birthday. I'm telling you right now, this story will have you gasping, then cheering, then crying happy tears. What my daughter-in-law did to me was cruel, but how it ended, you have to hear this. Make sure you stick around till the end because the twist, it'll blow your mind. I woke up that morning in my home in Phoenix, Arizona, feeling something was wrong, really wrong. My pillow felt weird against my skin, too smooth, too cold. I reached up to touch my hair, the silver waves I'd been growing for 40 years, the hair everyone always complimented, and felt nothing. Just skin. I shot up in bed, my heart pounding like crazy. Racing to the bathroom mirror, I couldn't process what I was seeing. My head was completely bald, not just cut short. Bald. Like someone had taken clippers and removed every single strand while I slept. Standing there in my bathroom, I noticed a sticky note on the mirror. Pink paper, neat handwriting. Now you have the look you deserve, Margaret. No more pretending to be something you're not. Happy 65th. Ashley, my daughter-in-law. The woman who'd married my son Michael 3 years ago. My legs went weak. I had to sit down on the bathroom floor, touching my bare scalp over and over, hoping this was some nightmare I'd wake up from. The sleeping pills I took for my insomnia, she must have counted on those. She'd snuck into my room while I was knocked out and, how dare she? I whispered to my reflection. See, what Ashley didn't know, what nobody knew yet, was that I'd been planning to announce something huge at my birthday party that evening. I was going to transfer ownership of my rental properties to Michael and Ashley. 5 houses in Scottsdale, worth about $3 million total. It was going to be my surprise retirement gift to them. But now everything had changed. I picked up my phone with shaking hands and called my best friend, Sarah. Margaret, happy birth. Sarah, I need you to come over. Right now, and can you stop at a wig shop? A wig shop? Margaret, what's going? Please come. 20 minutes later, Sarah was at my door. When I opened it, still in my robe with a scarf wrapped around my head, her face went pale. Oh my God. Margaret, what happened to you? I pulled off the scarf. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. Ashley, I said simply. She shaved my head while I was sleeping. What? That witch? We're calling the cops right now. No, I shook my head. I've got something else in mind. Sarah knew me well enough to recognize that tone. We'd been friends since high school, 50 years of friendship. She'd seen me handle my husband David's death 5 years ago, seen me build my real estate portfolio from nothing, seen me raise Michael as a single mom when David was deployed overseas. What are you thinking? She asked. First, help me figure out what to do about... I gestured at my head. The party's in 8 hours. Everyone's going to be there. Sarah had brought 3 wigs, a blonde bob, a brown shoulder length, and a gray one similar to my old hair. I tried them all on, but something felt fake, like I was hiding. You know what? I said, looking at myself in the mirror. I'm not going to wear any of them. Margaret, you can't go to your party bald. Watch me. I called my lawyer, William, right then. He'd handled my properties for years. William, I need you to cancel that property transfer we discussed, immediately. The one for Michael? But I thought, plans changed. Can you come to my party tonight? Bring the paperwork for a different arrangement, of course. What kind of arrangement? I'll text you the details. Just have it ready. After I hung up, Sarah was staring at me. You're really doing this? She wanted to humiliate me on my birthday. She wanted to make me look like some pathetic old woman. Well, she's about to learn that this old woman has more strength than she ever imagined. I spent the next hours getting ready. No wig. Instead, I had Sarah help me put on makeup that made my eyes pop. I wore my best dress, a deep purple number that I'd bought for my anniversary dinner with David years ago, but never got to wear. Diamond earrings he'd given me for our 30th anniversary. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself, but not in a bad way. I looked fierce. Damn, Margaret, Sarah whistled. You look like a warrior queen. Good. That's exactly what I'm going for. The party was in my backyard. I'd hired caterers, decorators, the works. About 50 guests were invited. Friends from church, my book club, neighbors, and of course, Michael and Ashley. As guests started arriving at 6 p.m., the reactions were intense. Shocked stares. Whispered conversations. Some people didn't even recognize me at first. Margaret? Is that you? My neighbor Emma asked, her eyes wide. It's me, I said, head held high. Just trying out a new look. Michael and Ashley arrived at 6:30. I was greeting guests by the pool when I saw them walk in. Michael stopped dead in his tracks when he saw me. His face went white, then red. Ashley, on the other hand, had this smirk on her face. That same smirk from when she'd accidentally thrown away my late husband's letters. The same smirk from when she'd redecorated my living room without asking. Mom? Michael rushed over. What happened to your hair? Ask your wife, I said calmly, not even looking at Ashley. Michael turned to Ashley, who was trying to look innocent. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe she's having some kind of episode? You know, older people sometimes do impulsive things. Is that so? I pulled out the sticky note from my pocket. Then how do you explain this? Your handwriting, Ashley. Your note. Michael grabbed it, read it, and his face transformed. I'd never seen him look so angry. You did this. He hissed at Ashley. You shaved my mother's head? It was just a joke, Ashley said, but her voice was shaking now. She's always acting so high and mighty with her perfect hair and her perfect life. A joke? Michael's voice carried across the party. People were staring now. Michael, honey, let's discuss this later. Ashley tried to pull him away. No, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Let's discuss it now. I walked to the center of the party, where the microphone for speeches was set up. Can I have everyone's attention? The chatter died down. All eyes were on me. Thank you all for coming to celebrate my 65th birthday. As you can see, I'm sporting a new look. I ran my hand over my bald head. This wasn't my choice. Someone decided to shave my head while I was sleeping last night. Someone who thought it would be funny to humiliate me on my birthday. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I saw Ashley trying to slink toward the exit, but Michael grabbed her arm. But you know what? I'm not humiliated. I'm grateful. Because this act of cruelty opened my eyes to something I've been blind to for too long. I signaled to William, who stepped forward with his briefcase. I was planning to announce tonight that I would be transferring my rental properties to my son and his wife. 5 properties worth approximately $3 million. Michael's jaw dropped. Ashley's eyes went wide, and for the first time, the smirk was completely gone. However, I continued, I've decided on a different path. William? William handed me the documents. I'm establishing the Margaret Thompson Foundation for Single Mothers. All 5 properties will be converted into affordable housing for single moms who are trying to get back on their feet, just like I was after my husband's first deployment when Michael was little. The yard was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. The foundation will provide not just housing, but childcare assistance, job training, and educational scholarships, because I believe in helping women who are trying to build better lives for their children. Mom, wait, Michael started, but I held up my hand. I'm not finished. Michael, you're my son and I love you. You'll still inherit this house when I'm gone. But the rental properties, they're going to help people who really need it. Ashley finally found her voice. You can't do this. Those properties were supposed to be ours. Supposed to be? I laughed. According to who? You? The woman who assaulted me in my sleep? It was just hair. She shrieked. It'll grow back. Yes, it will. But my trust in you? That's gone forever. Michael let go of Ashley's arm. We're leaving. Mom, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she would. I never thought. I know you didn't, sweetheart. But you've let her disrespect me for 3 years. The comments about my old lady clothes, the changes to my house, the constant undermining. You stood by and said nothing. Tears were running down Michael's face. I'm sorry. I know, and I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean there aren't consequences. They left then, Ashley stomping out in her high heels, Michael following with his head down. The party continued, but the atmosphere had completely changed. People came up to me one by one, expressing support and admiration. You're the strongest woman I know, Emma said, hugging me carefully. That took real courage, added James from church. But the best response came from a young woman I didn't recognize. She approached me nervously as the party was winding down. Mrs. Thompson? I'm Sophia. I work for the catering company. I wanted to say thank you. Thank you? I'm a single mom. My son is too. We've been living in my car for the past month because I couldn't afford rent and childcare. What you're doing with those properties, it could save someone like me. I felt tears prick my eyes. What's your son's name? Noah. Sophia, leave me your number. The foundation won't be officially running for a few months, but I have a guest house that's sitting empty. You and Noah can stay there until we get the properties ready. She broke down crying, hugging me so tight I could barely breathe. That night, after everyone left, Sarah stayed to help me clean up. You know Ashley's gonna make Michael's life hell now, she said. Maybe, or maybe this was the wake-up call he needed. And your hair? I looked at my reflection in the sliding glass door. You know what? I might keep it short when it grows back. I kind of like the freedom. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls from Michael. 17. I stared at my phone, debating whether to call him back. The doorbell rang before I could decide. It was Michael, standing there with red eyes and coffee from my favorite place downtown. Mom, can we talk? Please? I let him in. He looked terrible. Hair messy, same clothes from yesterday, clearly hadn't slept. Ashley left, he said as soon as he sat down. What do you mean left? Packed her stuff at 3 a.m. and drove to her mom's in California. She said I had to choose, her or you. When I didn't answer fast enough, she made the choice for me. I studied my son's face. He looked relieved. How do you feel about that? Honestly, like I can breathe for the first time in 3 years. He rubbed his face. Mom, I've been such an idiot. The things she said about you, the way she treated you, I knew it was wrong, but I was so scared of losing her, of being alone again after Jennifer left me. Jennifer was his college girlfriend who'd cheated on him. It had broken something in Michael, made him desperate to hold on to any relationship, no matter how toxic. You were never going to be alone, sweetheart. You always had me. I know. God, I know. And I threw that away for someone who... He shook his head. Last night, after we got home, she laughed about it. Actually laughed. Said you looked like a cancer patient and deserved it for being so controlling. Controlling? I raised an eyebrow. That's what she always said. That you were trying to control our lives by helping us financially. That the money came with strings. But it never did it? You just wanted to help. I wanted you to be happy. I haven't been happy in 2 years, Mom. Maybe longer. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Michael said something that shocked me. I want to help with the foundation. What? The Margaret Thompson Foundation. I want to be involved. I've been doing real estate development for 5 years. I know contractors, architects, city planning people. Let me help you convert those properties. I felt tears threatening. Michael, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Not for the inheritance. For you, for us, for Dad. That broke me. I hadn't heard Michael mention David voluntarily in years. Ashley always changed the subject when his father came up, said it was unhealthy to dwell on the past. Your father would have loved this idea, I said softly. He always said the luckiest break he got was meeting me when I was a struggling single mom at 19, before he adopted you officially. Tell me about that time, Michael said. Ashley never wanted to hear those stories, so I did. I told him about being 19 with a baby, working 3 jobs, living in a studio apartment with roaches and broken heating. How David had been my neighbor, this sweet military guy who'd fixed my car for free, babysat you when I had night shifts, brought groceries when he knew I was short on cash. He fell in love with you first, I told Michael. Said you were the bravest little kid he'd ever met. The way you'd toddle up to him and demand up, even when you barely knew him. He said any kid that fearless deserved a dad who'd match that courage. Michael was crying now. I miss him so much. Me too, baby. Every single day. Remember when he taught me to ride a bike? You mean when you insisted you didn't need training wheels and immediately crashed into Mrs. Peterson's rosebush? We both laughed through our tears. He was so patient, Michael said. Just picked me up, brushed me off, and said, tomorrow we try again, champ. That was your father. Never gave up on anyone. I gave up on you, Michael said quietly. I let Ashley poison my mind against you. God, Mom, the things she made me believe. Like what? That you were jealous of her. That you wanted me to stay single forever. That the money was your way of keeping me dependent. She twisted everything. When you'd cook Sunday dinners, she'd say you were showing off. When you offered to babysit our future kids, she said you were already trying to control them. Michael, why didn't you ever have kids? You always wanted them, he looked down. Ashley kept saying, next year. Then she'd book another vacation, buy another car, need another renovation on the house. I finally realized she never wanted kids. She wanted the image of a perfect life, but not the mess that comes with it. My phone buzzed. It was William, my lawyer. Margaret, I've got 3 families already interested in the foundation housing. Also that young woman from your party, Sophia. She called about the guest house. Tell her she can move in today, I said. Michael and I will get it ready. Michael looked at me. We will? If you meant what you said about helping. We spent the rest of the day cleaning out the guest house. It was a small 2-bedroom cottage at the back of my property, fully furnished but dusty from disuse. As we worked, Michael opened up more about his marriage. You know what the really sick part is? He said, wiping down the kitchen cabinets. She planned it for weeks. The head shaving. She bought the clippers specially. Practiced on a wig she bought. She wanted to make sure she could do it fast without waking you up. I felt sick. How do you know all this? She told me. Last night. She was proud of it. Said it was her masterpiece of revenge. Revenge for what? For existing, I think. For being successful. For being everything she knew she'd never be. Sophia arrived at 4 p.m. with Noah and 2 garbage bags of possessions. That was it. Their entire life in 2 bags. Mrs. Thompson, I can't. This is too much, she kept saying, looking around the guest house. It's Margaret. And it's not too much. It's exactly enough. Noah, this adorable 2-year-old with huge brown eyes, toddled straight to Michael and raised his arms. Up! Michael looked startled but picked him up. Noah immediately grabbed his nose and giggled. He never does that with strangers, Sophia said, amazed. I thought about David, how Michael had done the exact same thing when he first met him. Life really did move in circles sometimes. Over the next weeks, things changed rapidly. The foundation paperwork was filed. Michael threw himself into the renovation plans with an energy I hadn't seen since David died. He'd come over every morning with coffee and construction updates. Mom, if we convert the garage at the Maple Street property, we can make it a 3-bedroom instead of 2. That's expensive, honey. I'll cover it. I've got savings Ashley doesn't know about. Dad's advice, remember? Always have an emergency fund she can't touch. Smart man, my David. The surprising thing was how the community rallied around the foundation. Emma from next door donated furniture. James from church got his construction company to offer discounted rates. The story of what Ashley did had spread, but instead of pitying me, people seemed inspired. You turned something cruel into something beautiful, Sarah said one evening. We were sitting on my porch, watching Sophia push Noah on the swing Michael had installed. I had to. Otherwise, she won. Have you heard from her? Ashley? No, but her mother called. You're kidding. Nope. Mrs. Ashley Sr. wanted to know if I was really going through with stealing her daughter's inheritance. The audacity. I told her Ashley stole something from me first. My dignity. And unlike hair, that doesn't grow back. You have to rebuild it yourself. A month after the birthday party, I was at the grocery store when I ran into Olivia, one of Ashley's friends. She looked uncomfortable seeing me. Margaret, I owe you an apology. For what? I knew what she was planning. The head shaving. She told me at lunch the week before. I should have warned you, I studied Olivia. She looked genuinely remorseful. Why didn't you? I was scared of her. She had dirt on me, an affair I had last year. She threatened to tell my husband. She was blackmailing you. Olivia nodded miserably. She had something on everyone in our friend group. That's how she kept us in line. Good God, the more I learned about my former daughter-in-law, the more grateful I was for that wake-up call, painful as it was. My hair started growing back as a soft fuzz. I kept it super short, almost military style. Michael said I looked badass. Noah called me Fuzzy Grandma, which wasn't exactly accurate but made everyone laugh. Oh yeah, about that grandma thing. See, Sophia and Michael had started spending time together. Not romantically at first, just him helping fix things in the guest house, her making dinner as a thank you. But I saw the way they looked at each other when they thought no one was watching. Mom, is it weird that I like her? Michael asked one day, out of the blue, Sophia? Why would it be weird? I'm technically her landlord. And I just got out of a marriage. And she has a kid. And, Michael, stop. Do you make her happy? I think so. She smiles a lot when I'm around. Does she make you happy? His whole face changed. Got this soft look I'd never seen with Ashley. Yeah, she really does. She's so different from... She's genuine, you know? No games, no manipulation. Just this incredibly strong woman doing her best for her son. Sounds familiar, I said, thinking of my younger self. Yeah? Then he got it. Oh, like you and Dad. History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme sometimes. 2 months after the birthday party, we had our first family move into the foundation housing. A woman named Emily with 3 kids, escaping an abusive marriage. The look on her face when she saw the renovated property, I'll never forget it. This is really ours? She kept asking. Just like that? Not just like that, I explained. You'll pay what you can afford. We're not a charity, we're a hand-up. You'll attend the job training programs. Your kids will get tutoring help. We're investing in your future. Michael had set up everything beautifully. The house was painted in warm colors, fully furnished, with a playground in the backyard he'd built himself. You did good. Baby, I told him. I learned from the best. That evening, we had a little celebration at my house. Sophia made her famous lasagna, which was becoming Michael's favorite. Noah played with the other kids, and I stood there watching my new extended family, feeling something I hadn't felt since David died. Complete. Sarah pulled me aside. You know Ashley's been calling around, trying to get people on her side? Let her. Anyone who'd side with her after what she did isn't someone I need in my life. She's also saying she's gonna sue for the properties. I laughed. Actually laughed. On what grounds? That she assaulted me and didn't get rewarded for it? You're really not worried? Sarah, I've been through too much to waste energy on Ashley anymore. She showed me who she was. I believed her. End of story. But it wasn't quite the end. 3 months after the birthday party, Ashley showed up at my door. She looked different, thinner, older somehow. The designer clothes replaced with regular jeans and a simple top. Margaret, can we talk? I don't think we have anything to discuss. Please. 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I let her in, but stayed standing in the foyer. Michael won't return my calls, she started. That's between you and Michael. I made a mistake. You made a choice. A calculated, premeditated choice. She flinched. I was jealous. Of what? I gave you everything. Welcomed you into my family, my home. Exactly. You gave me everything. It was all yours, never ours, never mine. I felt like a permanent guest in my own life. So you decided to humiliate me? I wanted you to feel powerless, just once. To know what it was like. I stared at this woman I'd once thought of as a daughter. I've been powerless before, Ashley. When David died, I couldn't get out of bed for weeks. When Michael was deployed the first time, following in his dad's footsteps, I was powerless against the fear. You think you invented my pain? You just added to it. Tears were running down her face now, ruining her mascara. I'm sorry. I believe you. But it doesn't change anything. I want Michael back. Then talk to Michael. But know this, he's happy now. Really, genuinely happy with someone who loves him for who he is, not what he can provide. Her face changed. He's with someone? Already. Life moves on, Ashley. Even when we don't want it to. She left then, and I never saw her again. Heard later she moved to Texas, started over. Good for her. Maybe she learned something. Maybe not. Not my problem anymore. 6 months after my 65th birthday, the one where I woke up bald, I stood in my backyard again, preparing for another celebration. But this time, everything was different. My hair had grown back into a cute pixie cut that everyone said made me look 10 years younger. The foundation had housed 12 families already. And Michael? Well, Michael was nervous as hell, pacing around the garden. Mom, what if she says no? She won't say no. But what if... Michael David Thompson, that woman looks at you like you hung the moon. She's gonna say yes. He was planning to propose to Sophia that night. Had the ring and everything, not some huge, flashy diamond like Ashley had demanded, but a simple, elegant sapphire that reminded him of Sophia's eyes. Dad would have liked her, wouldn't he? Michael asked. Your dad would have loved her. A strong, single mom making it work? That was his favorite kind of person. The party guests started arriving around 7. This time it was smaller, more intimate. Just close friends, some foundation families, and Sarah, who'd become like Sophia's adopted aunt. Noah ran around in his tiny suit, telling everyone, Mikey gonna marry Mama. Because 3-year-olds can't keep secrets worth a damn. Noah, shh! Sophia laughed, catching him. She had no idea Michael had already asked Noah's permission last week. The kid had said yes, but demanded piggyback rides forever in return. At sunset, Michael clinked his glass. Everyone gathered around. I wanted to thank you all for coming. 6 months ago, my mom went through something terrible. Someone tried to break her spirit. He looked directly at me. But Margaret Thompson doesn't break. She bends, she adapts, and she comes back stronger. I felt tears starting already. She taught me that real strength isn't about controlling everything. It's about choosing love over bitterness, hope over revenge, and building something beautiful from the ashes of something cruel. He turned to Sophia, who was holding Noah and looking confused about why everyone was staring at her. Sophia, you came into our lives when we needed you most. You reminded me what real partnership looks like. No games, no manipulation, just truth, love, laughter. Oh my God, he was doing it. Right now, Michael got down on one knee. Sophia gasped, nearly dropping Noah, who clapped like this was the best show ever. Sophia Marie Collins, you and Noah have made my life complete. Will you marry me? Will you let me be Noah's dad and your husband? Sophia was crying so hard she couldn't speak, but she nodded. Nodded so hard I thought her head might fall off. Yes, Noah shouted for her. Mama says yes. The backyard erupted in cheers. Michael slipped the ring on her finger, stood up, and kissed her like they were in some romantic movie. Noah wiggled between them, demanding, family hug! Family hug! Watching them, I felt David's presence so strongly, like he was right there saying, good job, Maggie. You did good. Sarah appeared at my elbow with champagne. You orchestrated this whole thing, didn't you? I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. And I suppose you didn't accidentally mention to Sophia last week that sunset proposals were the most romantic. I smiled. A mother might have made some subtle suggestions. Later that night, after most guests had left, the 5 of us sat around the fire pit. Me, Michael, Sophia, Sarah, and Noah, who was fighting sleep in Michael's arms. Margaret, Sophia said quietly. Thank you. For what, honey? For everything. The guest house, the chance to start over, for raising Michael to be the man he is. For showing me what real strength looks like. You already had that strength, sweetheart. Maybe. But you showed me how to use it. Noah stirred, looked up at me with those big sleepy eyes. Fuzzy Grandma, you gonna be my real grandma now? I already am, baby. I already am. The wedding happened 3 months later. Small ceremony in my backyard, where it all began. Sophia wore my wedding dress from when I married David. We had it altered to fit perfectly. Michael cried when he saw her walking down the aisle. Ashley sent a card. Just signed, best wishes, Ashley. Michael threw it away without reading it twice. William walked Sophia down the aisle since her own father had passed when she was young. Noah was the ring bearer, but got distracted by a butterfly halfway down and had to be coaxed back by promises of cake. In his vows, Michael said, Sophia, you taught me that love isn't about control or possession. It's about partnership. It's about choosing each other every day, especially on the hard days. Sophia's vows made everyone cry. Michael, you saw a struggling single mom and didn't run. You saw strength where others saw burden. You loved my son before you loved me, and that's how I knew you were the one. During the reception, I gave a speech. 9 months ago, I woke up to the worst morning of my recent life. Someone I trusted violated that trust in the cruelest way possible. But that act of cruelty led to this moment. It brought Sophia and Noah into our lives. It showed Michael who he really was and what he really wanted. It forced me to stop enabling toxic behavior and start building something meaningful. So in the strangest way, I'm grateful. Not for the cruelty, but for the clarity it brought. I raised my glass. To new beginnings. To chosen families. To hair that grows back. And hearts that grow stronger. A year after that terrible birthday, the foundation had helped 30 families. We'd expanded to 2 more properties, bought with donations from people inspired by our story. 60 Minutes wanted to do a segment on us, but I declined. This wasn't about fame. It was about service. Michael's development company started focusing entirely on affordable housing. He said making millions didn't mean anything if it didn't help people. David would have been so proud. Sophia went back to school to become a social worker, wanting to help other single moms navigate the system. She studied at my kitchen table while I watched Noah, who'd started calling me Grandma Fuzzy, permanently. One day, I was at the grocery store when I ran into Ashley's mother. She looked older, tired, Margaret. Helen, I owe you an apology. What Ashley did, you didn't do it. No, but I raised her. I taught her that winning was everything, that kindness was weakness. I see now what that created. I studied this woman, saw genuine regret. How is she? Struggling. But maybe that's what she needs. To struggle. To build something herself, instead of taking from others. Maybe. Helen hesitated. Could you ever forgive her? I already have. For my own peace. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. I understand. As she walked away, I felt the last bit of anger leave my body. I was free. 2 years after the head-shaving incident, I woke up on my 67th birthday to breakfast in bed. Michael, Sophia, and Noah crowded into my bedroom with pancakes, coffee, and a handmade card from Noah that said, "Happy birthday, Fuzzy Grandma, I love you," in crayon. "We have a surprise," Sophia said, looking nervous. "Oh?" She and Michael exchanged glances. Then Sophia blurted out, "I'm pregnant!" I screamed, actually screamed with joy. Sarah came running from the guest room where she'd been staying. We'd become roommates after her husband passed. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. I'm going to be a grandma again. I'm going to be a big brother," Noah announced. "I'm going to teach the baby everything. Like how to catch bugs and climb trees and maybe wait until they can walk first." "Buddy," Michael laughed. Later that morning, sitting on my porch with Sarah, watching Michael push Noah on the swing while Sophia rested her hand on her still flat belly, I thought about the journey that brought us here. "You know," Sarah said, "if someone had told you on that horrible morning that this is where you'd end up, I would have thought they were insane. But look at you now. Look at all of this." She was right. The foundation was thriving. My son was genuinely happy. I had a daughter-in-law who actually loved me, a grandson who adored me, and another grandchild on the way. My hair had grown back different, silver now with streaks of white, which I wore in a short, sassy style that got compliments everywhere I went. "I should write Ashley a thank you note," I joked. "Margaret." "I'm kidding, but..." In the weirdest way, her cruelty saved us all. It forced the truth into the light. That evening at my birthday dinner, Michael stood up to make a toast. To my mom, who taught me that real strength isn't about never falling down. It's about what you do when you get back up. Who showed me that revenge isn't the answer, transformation is. Who turned the worst day of her life into the beginning of something beautiful. He looked right at me. "Mom, you're my hero. Happy birthday." As everyone raised their glasses, Noah piped up, "And she has the coolest hair of all the grandmas." Everyone laughed, even me. Especially me, because he was right. I did have the coolest hair, and the coolest life, and the coolest family. Not perfect, but real. Not without scars, but healing. Ashley had tried to destroy me with those clippers. Instead, she'd set me free. Free to be who I really was. Free to help others. Free to demand respect. Free to love more deeply and wisely. The baby, Emma Margaret Thompson, was born 8 months later. When they placed her in my arms for the first time, she grabbed my finger and wouldn't let go. "Another fighter," I whispered. "Good. This world needs more fighters." Michael leaned over, kissed my head, my fuzzy silver head that had become my trademark. "We love you, Mom. All of you. Even the parts that were hurt, especially those parts. I love you too, baby. All of you. And that's my story. The story of how I woke up bald on my birthday and thought my world was ending. But really, it was just beginning. Beginning better, stronger, more beautiful than before. Because here's the truth. Sometimes the worst things that happen to us become the best things that happen to us. Not because cruelty is good, but because we're stronger than we know. We're capable of transformation beyond our wildest dreams. My hair grew back. My family grew larger. My heart grew wider. And my life? My life grew magnificent. And every morning, when I look in the mirror at my short silver hair, I don't see a victim. I see a survivor, a warrior, a woman who refused to let cruelty win. I see myself. Finally, fully, freely myself. And let me tell you, she's absolutely beautiful.